going to make something special, and my name is Jean Crone. I live in Fredericksburg, Texas, but everybody just calls me Bubby. Normally I make very simple things, not complicated things, but the holidays are coming, and this is one of my family favorites. The problem is, before I can get it to the table, they've eaten it. But it's called apple sausage balls. And you take 2 pounds of ground sausage, and buy a good brand because it has less fat. All right, to that you're going to add a cup and a half of crackers that you crush. Now I put my crackers in a large plastic bag and just roll a rolling pin over it. Or, you know, if you want to work your fingers, you can sit and do it that way too. Okay, I'm just going to pour that in. And you use a 1/4 of a cup of minced onions, and it has to be minced or it doesn't turn out well. All right, use your fingers, that's what they're for. All right. Then you're going to add 1 chopped apple. Now I will tell you that I went to the refrigerator this morning to get my apple for this, and one of my grandkids took it in their lunch. So I went to Plan B. Plan B is you can use applesauce, but you use a 1/4 of a cup less. You use a cup of chopped apple. Well, you use 3/4 of a cup of applesauce if you're going to use applesauce, because it has more liquid in it. All right, you just scrape that in. I don't like the sweetened kind, so I don't use sweetened kind. And to that, you're going to add 2 beaten eggs. And let me see, a 1/2 cup of milk. All right. Now, you have to make sure this mixture, which looks a little strange, is well mixed, so it takes a while to mix it. And while I'm doing this, I generally put on the stove a pan that I fill it about 1/2 full of water. I put 5 or 6 chicken bouillon cubes in it, and some onion, and I let it just boil while I'm getting ready. I simmer it, all right, because I'm going to put these sausage balls in there. So what I do is I start mixing. All right. And you mix and you mix and you mix and you mix. All right, once you have it thoroughly mixed together, you're ready to make it into balls. Now, I will tell you that in doing this, it helps if you rinse your hands, because you have to use your hands in this, that if you rinse your hands in cold water, all right, and I'll show you exactly like how I taught my grandchildren to do this. You take about that much, all right, squeeze, 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 roll, 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 plop, okay, that's all there is to it, all right. Squeeze, 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 roll, roll, roll,
pop,
plop,
plop.
All right, after we've made the meatballs, all right, these sausage balls, I'm just going to drop them one at a time into my water that I've had boiling that has the bouillon cubes and the onions in it, all right? And again, your hands have to be wet with cold water. There's probably an easier way to do this, but I've made this for years and years and years, and this is about the easiest way I've found to do it. And they're gone practically before I can get them to the table. Once you get all of them in, I cook them about 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes. And If you have to add a little more water to the pot, you can do that. They've cooked their little half hour or better. Sometimes you just have to know what they're going to look like. You might want to take one out and cut into it. But you see how they don't stick to anything. They float free. And they have been in the, I'm going to turn the stove off. Right, and what you do is you just simply ladle them out and put them on a platter. And we have a platter that's all decorated here with lavender, which is edible. Not only smells good, but it's edible. All right. And there's enough here that people just can make themselves really happy over. All right, this is the apple sausage balls when it's done. Don't they look yummy? Mm-hmm. And they are delicious. And they're even good cold.
Ooh, yummy.
My family can attest to that. They don't last long enough to get too cold though. All right, so I hope you enjoy this recipe. It's one that I've used probably for the last 30 years. And everybody loves it. They ask for it when they come to see me, or if I go to a party, did you bring it? And it just is time consuming to make, but it's well worth the effort. So I hope you enjoy. So bon appetit. Mwah!